The rain-slicked streets of Seattle gleamed under the sodium lamps like shattered promises, and Elias Kane slammed the car door so hard it echoed off the brick walls of the old Victorian he called home. His hands trembled as he fumbled for his keys. The wedding invitation crumpled in his fist like a death sentence. His son's wedding, the one he couldn't pay for, the one that would rip them apart forever. "Dad, you're not coming?" Alex's voice had cracked over the phone that afternoon. Not in anger, but in the quiet devastation of a boy who thought love fixed everything, until it didn't. Elias stumbled into the foyer, the scent of damp wool and regret hitting him like a wave. The house was too quiet without Alex's laughter bouncing off the walls, too empty since the boy had moved out for college 3 years back, chasing dreams in a city that chewed up dreamers like him. Elias dropped the invitation on the scarred oak table, watching it unfurl like a white flag of surrender. He'd raised Alex alone for 22 years, through fevers and first crushes, scraped knees and school plays, all while burying the ghost of the man who'd made their little family whole, until cancer stole him away when Alex was just 5. Now that ghost whispered from every corner, "You failed him. Again." He poured a tumbler of bourbon, the amber liquid sloshing like the tears he refused to shed, and sank into the armchair by the window. Outside, the Puget Sound fog rolled in, swallowing the fairy lights one by one. Elias's mind reeled back, unbidden, to the day it all began. Not the diagnosis, not the funeral, but the raw, electric night he'd met Theo, under a sky just as stormy as this one. It was 2002, and Seattle was alive with the hum of grunge fading into something brighter, gayer. Elias was 25, a barista by day and a budding architect by night, sketching blueprints on napkins at dive bars where the beer was cheap and the crowds didn't ask questions. He'd grown up in a conservative pocket of Spokane, where being gay meant whispers and sideways glances, but the city had promised reinvention. That night, at a cramped queer open mic in Capitol Hill, Theo strode on stage like he owned the stars, tall, with tousled dark hair that fell over hazel eyes that sparkled with mischief. His voice a gravelly baritone crooning an original about lost boys finding their way home. Elias couldn't look away. When Theo finished to thunderous applause, their eyes locked across the smoky room, and it was like the universe cracked open. "You write like you've lived 1,000 heartbreaks," Elias said later, sliding onto the stool next to him at the bar, nursing a pint of local IPA. Theo grinned, that lopsided smile that would become Elias's anchor, and clinked glasses. "Or maybe I've just got good imagination. What's your story, Sketchpad?" They talked until closing, words tumbling like rain, about Elias's dreams of designing sustainable homes for families like the ones they'd both fled, about Theo's poetry slams and his side gig teaching high school English in Tacoma. By dawn, they were tangled in Theo's tiny apartment overlooking the market, bodies and souls colliding in a frenzy of discovery that felt less like lust and more like fate. "I think I'm falling," Theo murmured against Elias's neck, the city waking below them in shades of gray and gold. Elias laughed, breathless, pulling him closer. "Good, because I'm right there with you." Those early years were a whirlwind of stolen weekends and late-night drives along the coast, the Olympic Mountains rising like silent witnesses to their love. They moved in together after 6 months, Elias's drafting table squeezed beside Theo's typewriter in a loft that overlooked the Space Needle. Life wasn't perfect. Elias's conservative parents had cut ties when he came out in college, mailing back his graduation card with a terse note about choosing sin over family. But with Theo, it felt possible. They talked kids early, dreaming of adoption or surrogacy, of building a legacy that defied the odds. Then Alex came into their lives, a wide-eyed 4-year-old from the foster system, with freckles like constellations and a laugh that could melt glaciers. The social worker had warned them. He'd been bounced around too much, trust issues deeper than the sound. But the first time Alex grabbed Theo's hand during a park picnic, declaring, "You're my favorite storyteller," Elias knew they were all in. The adoption hearing was a blur of paperwork and prayers. But when the judge banged the gavel, "He's yours," Theo whooped so loud the bailiff chuckled. That night, they celebrated with fish and chips on the waterfront. Alex asleep on Elias's lap, the future stretching out like the endless tide. Fatherhood reshaped them. Elias landed a junior position at a green architecture firm downtown, designing eco-friendly row houses for low-income families, while Theo poured his soul into lesson plans that made Shakespeare feel alive. Alex thrived. Soccer games where he'd score and run straight to Papa Theo for hugs, bedtime stories that blurred into dreams. Elias would watch them from the doorway, Theo's voice weaving tales of brave knights and hidden kingdoms, and think, this is what home means. But shadows crept in slowly, like fog off the water. Theo started coughing in the fall of 2008, blaming it on allergies at first. Elias nagged him to see a doctor, but Theo waved it off with that grin. I'm invincible, babe. We've got a kid to raise. By Christmas, the cough lingered, and tests revealed stage 3 lung cancer. Non-smoker, they said, just bad luck. The world tilted. Chemo sessions blurred into hospital vigils. Alex's questions, when's Papa coming home? Cutting deeper than any scalpel. Elias held it together for them, working overtime to cover mounting bills, his firm sympathetic but not generous. Theo fought like a lion, poetry scrawled on 4 bags. In the marrow of marrow, we bloom. But by spring, the tumors spread, and hospice talks loomed. One rainy afternoon, as Alex napped in the next room, Theo pulled Elias close. Promise me you'll keep going, he whispered, voice ragged. Give him the stars, Eli. Don't let the dark win. Elias nodded, choking on sobs, their rings clinking like a vow renewed. Theo slipped away on a Tuesday in June, the sound calm as glass outside their window. Alex, sensing the shift, crawled into bed between them that last night, tiny hand on Theo's chest. At the funeral, a modest affair at a queer-friendly chapel in the Hill, the pews overflowed with teachers, poets, and parents who'd found solace in Theo's words. Elias stood graveside, Alex clutching his leg, the boy's tears soaking his slacks. Papa's with the stories now, Elias murmured, though his heart screamed otherwise. The years that followed were a grind of survival. Elias threw himself into work, rising to lead architect on community projects. Affordable housing for LGBTQ families displaced by gentrification, playgrounds that echoed with laughter like Alex's used to. He dated sporadically, awkward coffees that fizzled when he mentioned his baggage. But Alex was his North Star. Mornings meant pancakes shaped like dinosaurs, evenings homework marathons where Elias fumbled algebra but nailed history tales of Stonewall and moon landings. Alex grew tall and thoughtful, inheriting Theo's hazel eyes and Elias's quiet determination, coming out as gay in high school with a casual, "Dad, it's like you and Papa, feels right." Elias hugged him fierce that day, pride swelling like the tide. "You're perfect, kid. We'll navigate it together." They did, pride parades hand in hand, awkward talks about safe spaces and safe sex, Elias sharing stories of his own fumbling youth. Alex blossomed into a poli-sci major at UW, interning at a nonprofit fighting housing discrimination, his passion a mirror of Elias's own. "You're my hero, Dad," he'd say over takeout pho, and Elias would brush it off. But inside, it mended cracks he didn't know were there. By Alex's 22nd birthday, life hummed with cautious optimism. Elias had just wrapped a major project, a queer youth center in Belltown, all glass walls and rainbow murals, when the call came. Alex, voice bubbling over the line. "Dad, I'm getting married, to Jordan. You remember him from that rally last summer?" Jordan Ellis, the sharp-witted paralegal with a southern drawl and a justice streak a mile wide, son of a prominent Atlanta family who'd relocated for work. They'd met at a marriage equality march, sparks flying amid chants and confetti. Elias hooped, heart full. "When? Tell me everything." The wedding was set for next June at a vineyard in the Willamette Valley, Oregon. Intimate, 150 guests, black tie optional. But as details trickled in, so did the costs. Venue deposit $15,000, catering $20,000, flowers and photography pushing it to $80,000 total. Elias crunched numbers late into nights. His modest salary stretched thin by student loans and Alex's tuition remnants. The firm was stable, but bonuses were lean post-recession echoes. We can scale it back, he suggested gently over dinner at their favorite dim sum spot. Alex's face fell, just a flicker, but it gutted Elias. Jordan's folks are covering half, Alex said. But they want it. Perfect. For the photos, you know? Pressure mounted like storm clouds. Jordan's parents, Harlan and Margot Ellis, flew up for a visit. Charming on the surface, old-money Atlanta polish masking conservative edges. Harlan, a retired banker with a firm handshake, cornered Elias after dinner. Elias, son, we admire what you've done raising Alex solo. Theo was a fine man. God rest him. The words landed like barbs. Theo's queerness glossed over in fine. Margot cooed over centerpieces, but her eyes lingered on Elias's faded truck parked outside, the one with the rainbow sticker peeling at the edges. Such a lovely home, she said of the Victorian, which to Elias was a sanctuary but to her screamed, not quite. The breaking point came via email, innocuous at first. A spreadsheet from the wedding planner, totals climbing. Elias dipped into savings, sold his vintage drafting set Theo had gifted him. A bittersweet pang, but it barely dented the gap. Then, the call from Harlan, voice smooth as bourbon. Elias, we're prepared to front the rest, but we'd like to host a rehearsal dinner here in Seattle. Family only, you understand. And perhaps, a gesture of commitment from you, to show you're all in. Elias's stomach twisted. The gesture was a check for $10,000, framed as a contribution to the boy's future, but laced with implication. Prove you're worthy. He wired it that week, pride be damned, but the account alerts dried up soon after. Bills piled, property taxes up, firm hours cut for a merger. Desperate, Elias approached his estranged sister, Lena, in Spokane, the only family tie left. For Alex, he pleaded over coffee in a sterile diner. She hesitated, eyes flicking to her cross necklace. Eli, Mom and Dad, they might help, but you'd have to come to church. Show some change. Humiliation burned, but he swallowed it. Attending a service where the pastor's sermon on traditional families felt aimed straight at him. The check came, $5,000, with a note, prayers for redemption. It wasn't enough. 2 months out, the planner emailed, balance due, $12,347. Ellis family regrets they cannot cover shortfall without full commitment from all parties. Elias stared at the screen, world blurring. He called Alex, voice steady as he could manage. Bud, things are tight. Can we talk options? Silence stretched, then Alex's whisper. Dad, Jordan's parents said if you can't swing it, maybe it's best if you step back for the day. Avoid awkwardness. The words landed like a freight train. Elias hung up, numb, and drove to the cemetery under gathering dusk. Theo's stone gleamed wet, engraved storyteller of hearts. I tried. Elias choked, kneeling in the mud. God, I tried. Thunder rumbled, first drops falling, mirroring the storm inside. That night, the invitation arrived, formal vellum, Alex's name in elegant script, Elias's omitted. He crumpled it, fury rising like bile. Betrayal? From his own blood? No, deeper, from the world that demanded perfection from broken men, that measured love in dollars and facades. He paced the empty house, ghosts crowding in, Theo's laugh, Alex's tiny hand in his. Enough. Dawn broke gray and Elias made calls to old colleagues, to the youth center board. Crowd fund? No, too public. Sell the house? It was all he had left of them. But as he scrolled contacts, a name glowed. Marcus Hale, the firm's senior partner. A silver fox who'd mentored Elias through Theo's illness, quietly covering shifts when Elias couldn't. Eli, talk to me, Marcus said, voice warm over coffee at a waterfront cafe. Elias spilled it all, the wedding, the shortfall, the cut-off sting. Marcus listened, no pity, just steady gaze. You're not alone, kid. Never were. By lunch, he'd rallied a discreet network. Anonymous donations from queer allies who'd known Theo, a low-interest loan from the firm's equity fund. $15,000 materialized by evening. No strings but one. Show up as you are, Elias. That's the real gift. Relief flooded, but doubt lingered. Was this charity? Pity for the widower dad? No, Mac's hand on his shoulder said otherwise. A quiet solidarity forged in shared battles. Elias texted Alex. Got it covered. See you at the altar, son. Love you. The reply, 3 heart emojis. A dam breaking. The vineyard bloomed under Oregon sun. Rows of grapes heavy with promise. The air thick with lavender and nerves. Elias adjusted his rented tux. Charcoal simple. In the mirror of the groomsman's sweet heart hammering. Guests milled outside. A tapestry of faces. Alex's college crew in rainbow boutonnieres. Jordan's relatives in pastel seersuckers. Whispering about the unconventional vows. Harlan and Margot held court near the arbor. Smiles fixed. But Elias caught the edge in their glances when he entered. Alex appeared then, breathtaking in ivory silk, eyes shining. Dad? He breathed, pulling Elias into a crush of an embrace. I thought. I'm sorry. Jordan's folks, they. Elias silenced him with a finger to lips. Hey, we're here. That's what matters. Jordan joined them, handsome and earnest, squeezing Elias's hand. Mr. Kane, Elias, thank you. For everything. The sincerity cracked Elias's armor. Maybe not all was lost. Ceremony time. The officiant, a drag queen elder from the hill with a voice like velvet thunder, opened with a nod to Theo. Love isn't a ledger, folks. It's the stories we tell when the numbers don't add up. Vows exchanged, rings glinting like stars, and as Alex kissed Jordan under the chupper-inspired canopy, blending their heritages, the crowd erupted. Elias clapped till his palms stung, tears blurring the scene, Theo's presence a warm ghost on his shoulder. Reception unfolded in golden light, string lights twinkling like fireflies. Tables groaned under farm-to-table feasts, Dungeness crab, heirloom salads, and the band swung into Motown covers that had even Harlan tapping a toe. Elias nursed a gin and tonic, watching Alex whirl Jordan on the floor, their laughter a bomb. Then Margot approached, flute in hand. Elias, a word? Dread coiled, but her eyes softened. We were wrong. About the money, the conditions. Alex adores you. Harlan and I, we see that now. She pressed an envelope into his palm. The overage refunded, no note attached. Apology in action. He nodded, throat tight. Family's messy, but worth it. She smiled, genuine this time, and drifted away. Marcus sidled up, clapping his back. Proud of you, Eli. Their eyes met, a spark flickering. Not urgent, but possible. Later, perhaps. As dusk deepened, Alex pulled Elias aside to the vineyard's edge, fireflies dancing. Dad, I almost lost sight. You and Papa, you built this. Me. Elias hugged him, fierce and final. You built yourself, kid. We just held the ladder. Jordan joined, arms linking, a triad sealed. Driving home under star-strewn skies, Elias felt the weight lift, not gone but shared. The house waited, quieter now, but not empty. He lit a candle on the mantel, Theo's photo smiling back, and whispered, We did good. Outside, the sound whispered agreement, waves carrying stories onward. Months blurred into healing. Alex and Jordan settled in Portland, visits frequent, Thanksgiving turkey disasters, New Year's toasts with Theo's favorite scotch. Elias dove deeper into work, spearheading a national grant for queer family housing. His designs now etched with Alex's input. Open kitchens for story time, nooks for quiet confessions. Marcus became a fixture. Dinners that stretched late, walks where hands brushed accidental on purpose. Their first kiss happened on a ferry deck, salt wind whipping, Elias murmuring, Theo to prove. Marcus chuckled. He'd demand a poem. Betrayal's scar faded, not erased. Harlan called once, awkward invite to a Falcons game. Elias declined politely, boundaries firm. Lena sent holiday cards, tentative bridges. But the real mending was internal, Elias sponsoring a widower's group at the youth center, sharing how love's ledger balanced in grace, not gold. One crisp autumn eve, Alex rang. Grandkids? Saget's on board. Elias laughed, joy pure. Tell me everything. As he hung up, phone warm in hand, he stepped to the window. Seattle sprawled, alive and unyielding. Life, he thought, was the ultimate draft, lines redrawn, but the structure sound. And in that profound humanity, we fall, we fund the fractures, we rise rewritten. Elias's alarm pierced the pre-dawn hush at 5:45 a.m. sharp, a relentless trill that dragged him from dreams of vineyards and vows. He slapped its silent, muscles protesting the queen bed's lonely expanse, and padded to the kitchen in boxers and a threadbare husky's tea. Coffee brewed strong, Theo's ritual, black as midnight, and as steam curled, Elias scrolled texts. Alex's selfie from Portland, Jordan photobombed by a pup named Scout, caption domestic bliss incoming. Heart twinge, sweet sharp. Shower scalding, he replayed the wedding's afterglow. The toasts, Marcus's steady presence at his elbow. The way Alex's eyes had sought him during the father-son dance. An old Springsteen tune crooning Thunder Road. You're my rock, Dad. Alex had slurred, tipsy on Rose. Elias had squeezed his shoulder, voice gruff. Just don't forget to throw. Laughter light as confetti. Dressed in chinos and a button-down, professional but approachable. He grabbed his messenger bag, blueprints peeking out for today's pitch. Expanding the youth center into a full community hub, with art studios and counseling suites. The drive downtown snaked through mist-shrouded hills, NPR murmuring about climate bills, a reminder of the world's wider wars. Elias parked in the garage, badge swiping him into the firm's glass area overlooking Elliott Bay. Marcus was already there, silver temples catching the fluorescence, poring over renders on his drafting table. Morning partner in crime, he greeted, handing over a latte, oat milk, 2 pumps vanilla, Elias's vice. Their fingers brushed, electric, and Elias felt that pull again, tentative as a first sketch. Marcus, 52 to his 48, was all quiet confidence. Ex-Marine turned advocate, divorced from a wife who'd known his truths too late, now out and unapologetic. Their mentorship had deepened post-wedding, coffees evolving to hikes in Discovery Park, where pines whispered permissions. Pitches at 10, Marcus said, eyes crinkling. Nervous, Elias snorted, unrolling his plans. Only if the board channels their inner Harlan. Marcus's laugh rumbled, warm. They dove in, banter flowing, Elias's flair for organic curves, Marcus's precision on budgets. By noon, approval stamped, handshakes all around. Lunch was faux at a hole in the wall, steam fogging windows, chopsticks clacking as they dissected the win. You're brilliant, Eli, Marcus said softly, gaze holding. Elias flushed, fork pausing. We. Team effort. Afternoon blurred. Site visits to a derelict warehouse in Soto, visions of rainbow murals over graffiti scars. Elias's phone buzzed, Lena. Coffee? No sermons. He agreed, wariness a habit. The diner was the same, vinyl booths cracked, pie under sneeze guards. Lena, softer now at 45, kids in tow via text updates, slid across a photo. Her daughter, 10, gap-toothed grin. Thought Alex might like an auntie, she said. Elias sipped, cautious. He would. But last time. She nodded, eyes down. I was scared. Mom's echo chamber. Not anymore. Vulnerability cracked her facade. They talked hours, bridges tentative but building. Drive home lighter, text to Alex. Aunt Lena thawing. Miracles happen. Evening ritual. Jog along the waterfront. Fairies cutting wakes like silver blades. Elias's mind wandered to Theo. Anniversary next month. 15 years gone but vivid. He'd plan a quiet vigil at the pier. Alex joining via video. Jordan's drawl chiming in. Home to stir-fry and a rom-com, but loneliness nipped. Text from Marcus. Beer tomorrow? No shop talk. Elias typed yes, heart quickstep. Weeks wove into rhythm. The hub broke ground, hard hats and hammers echoing Theo's old line. Build it, and the stories follow. Alex visited, Scout in tow, chaos of fetch in the yard. Dad, Jordan's firm, they're partnering on policy. You should consult. Elias demurred, but pride swelled. Evenings with Marcus bloomed. Trivia nights at a dive, where his history geekery shone. Stargazing on Queen and Hill, constellations mapping unspoken wants. First date proper was a Saturday, rain pattering bistro windows. Marcus and Henley, sleeves rolled, forearms veined like rivers. They shared oysters raw and briny, wine loosening tongues. Theo, he'd grill you, Elias teased. Marcus smiled, serious. I tell him I see you, Eli. All of you, the dad, the dreamer, the survivor. Kiss in the car, parking lot fogged, gentle exploration. Hands in hair, breaths mingling. Home alone, Elias touched lips, wonder stirring. Not replacement, addition, but ripples disturbed. Harlan emailed, CCING Alex. Family retreat, Georgia? Bonding time. Elias forwarded to Alex, who called frantic. Dad, go? Show unity. Weariness tugged. If it mends, bud. The farm was antebellum sprawl, magnolias dripping, air thick as suspicion. Margot fussed over tea, Harlan grilled on career stability. Subtext provider? Alex mediated. Tense, Jordan charming the edges. Night bonfire, stories swapped. Theo's poetry earning nods. Elias's designs sparking talk. Dawn departure, Harlan's grip firm. Your family, Elias. Earned. Words landed heavy, trust a fragile bloom. Back in Seattle, Marcus waited with takeout, sensing the churn. You okay? Couch cuddle, his head on Elias's chest. Getting there. Vulnerability spilled. The old cuts, the wedding sting. Marcus listened, fingers tracing ribs. You're enough. Always were. Lovemaking followed, slow and sacred. No rush, just mapping scars into stars. Dawn found them tangled, Elias whispering, Stay. Marcus did. Seasons turned. Fall leaves carpeted parks, Alex's surrogate news concrete. A boy, due spring. Elias designed a nursery sketch, sending it framed. Holiday cards from Lena included invites. He went, church skipped, pie shared instead. Work soared, hub ribbon cutting. Kids' laughter filling halls. One teen confiding, You get it, Mr. Kane. The alone part. Elias hugged him. Theo's echo. Stories heal. Winter solstice. Marcus proposed a trip. Cabins in the Cascades, snowshoeing and silence. They packed thermoses, drove winding roads, arriving to Pine Hush. Evenings by fire, esmores and secrets. Marcus's marine days, the closet's cage. Elias's spoken flight, wings clipped then freed. One night, aurora faint overhead, Marcus knelt. Not ring, but words. Build with me, Eli? Not just houses, us. Tears hot, Elias yes, kiss ceiling. Spring burst, baby shower in Portland. Blues and yellows, diapers stacked like dreams. Alex teary, handing Elias a onesie. Storyteller in training. Jordan toasting. To the dads who dared, Elias's chest ached full. But summer loomed, anniversary shadow. Elias planned solo at first, peer vigil. Theo's poem read aloud. Marcus insisted, I'm in if you'll have me. They went, salt wind whipping, Elias's voice cracking on lines. In the marrow, Marcus's arm anchored, silent witness. Back home, dinner simple, Theo's chili recipe, laughter over spills. Bed later, bodies close, Elias murmuring, Thank you, Marcus, thank you. Life's ledger balanced, not perfect. Bills nipped, doubts whispered, but rich in grace. Elias, once cut off, now woven tight. Son, partner, kin reclaimed. In Seattle's endless rain, rainbows arched, promise etched. The first contraction hit at 3 a.m. Alex's text a bleat. It's time. Portland traffic hell. Elias bolted awake, Marcus stirring beside him. Go, he murmured, kiss to temple. I've got the fort. Elias threw on jeans, grabbed the pre-packed cooler, energy bars, Theo's worn copy of Where the Wild Things Are for Luck, and hit the road, I-5 a ribbon of taillights under sodium glow. 2 hours blurred in podcasts and prayers. Rain sheeting windshield like tears unheld. Hospital loomed, sterile bright. Alex in bed, Jordan pacing, surrogate Mia serene amid beeps. Dad? Alex gasped, hand crushing. Elias took it, steady. Breathe, bud. You're a lion. Hours stretched. Ice chips. Walks in halls, Marcus's check-ins. Love you both. Home safe? Labor peak dawn. Mia's pushes primal. Elias coaching from memory of Alex's birth. Theo's hand, then his now. Cry shattered air at 7:42, tiny and fierce. Theo Elias Kane Ellis, 7 pounds 2 ounces, fists waving like flags. Alex sobbed, Jordan beaming, Mia exhausted grateful. Elias held the bundle first, hazel eyes blinking. Theo's echo, undeniable. Hey, little man, he whispered, nose to downy head. Welcome to the stories. Discharge brought chaos. Bassinet assembly fails. Midnight feeds that bonded Uncle-Dad vibes. Elias shuttled weekends, Marcus tagging for diaper runs, his baritone soothing colic wails. Natural, he quipped, burping Theo Jr. Elias laughed. Heart full. This patchwork family, sewn from solos. Back home, the Victorian hummed anew. Guest room converted nursery, walls papered in star maps. Work paused for paternity overlap, Elias remote designing from the rocker, blueprints beside bottles. Lena visited, cooing over nephew, her cross necklace glinting less accusatory. He's got your chin, she said, and Elias nodded, bridge firmer. But undercurrents stirred. A board meeting soured, funding cut for the hub's expansion, corporate suits citing ROI over rainbows. Elias argued fierce, voice cracking on testimonials from housed families, but vote tallied against. Drive home furious, Marcus waiting with Stu. Fight smart, he advised. Maps unrolled for Grant hunts. Elias deflated, head in hands. What if it's not enough? Like the wedding me scrambling. Marcus knelt, eyes level. It is. You're the blueprint. Resolve hardened. Elias rallied. Petitions to council. Op-eds in The Stranger on queer erasure in urban planning. Alex amplified online Jordan's legal muscle drafting briefs. Momentum built. Protests at City Hall. Rainbow signs waving. Media bites on families fighting back. Climax came at hearing. Elias testified, voice steady, Theo's poem woven in. Homes aren't ledgers. They're heartbeats. Gavel fell favorable, funds restored. Plus. Victory party at the hub, lights strung, kids dancing. Harlan and Margot flew up. Tentative, Theo Jr. in Margot's arms melting ice. Beautiful, she murmured. Harlan clapped Elias's back. Proud, son. Words healed old cuts, not erased. Summer swelled. Family camping in Olympics. Tents pitched lakeside, fires crackling tales. Theo Jr. gurgled. Alex strumming guitar. Springsteen again. Full circle. Marcus and Elias stole moments. Hands linked in dark. Whispers of forever. Fall brought whispers of more. Marcus's ring box glimpsed. Casual. Elias's pulse raced. Yes, unspoken. Anniversary vigil doubled. Now with babe in carrier. Marcus reading Theo's lines. Snow first, then holidays. Spokane trek. Lena's table groaning. Parents absent but ghosts kinder. Return to Seattle, New Year dawning, Elias proposed back. Hike summit, knee in dirt. Build. Marcus teary, yes. Life's drama peaked, then plateaued. Betrayals transmuted to bonds. Elias, once adrift, anchored deep. Love's true fund, infinite. Years folded like blueprints, edges softening. Theo Jr. toddled into 3, curls wild. Questions endless. Papa Theo fly with birds? Elias knelt, patient. He tells stories to the stars, buddy. Watches us always. Alex and Jordan thrived. Non-profit booming. Portland house a haven of policy papers and playdates. Visits wove tight. Barbecues where Harlan grilled vegan. Margot knitting booties. Her conservatism cracking under grandchild gravity. Elias and Marcus married quiet. Courthouse steps under cherry blossoms. Rings simple gold. Reception at the Victorian String Quartet. Queer choir belting at last. Alex Bestman toasting. Dads teach us love's the build, not the break. Theo Jr. ringbearer. Scattering petals with glee. Lena there, tearful. Even a card from spoken parents. And signed but present. Blessings. Firm partnership formalized. Elias heading equity division. Designs now nationwide. Safe spaces from Seattle to Savannah. Marcus's hands steady in meetings. Home a rhythm of suppers and sunsets. Challenges came. Theo Jr.'s fever scare. Hub vandalism scrawled with slurs. Elias scrubbing paint dawn. Rage to resolve. But each storm passed. Community cradling. One eve, porch swing creaking, Elias reflected. From crumpled invite to this full table, full heart. Betrayal's lesson? Love demands daring, dollars mere props. Human core. Connection. Unledgered. Theo Jr. climbed lap. Book in hand. Story pop. Elias opened wild things. Marcus joining, voices harmonizing. Outside, sound sang eternal. In that chorus, all mended. A gay dad's odyssey. From cut off to complete.